Howdy everybody out there in YouTube land. Welcome back to the channel. So today we have a beautiful deck review coming your way. This was an extra little gift from my recent order from Doug Kahn, right? So just looking at it here, it says on the paper that it was a gift from on the behalf of Scott Link, the magician behind the policy, and obviously there's more fun at elephantpuzzles.com, right? So it says that it's let's see here. Yep, on here it says it's the unabashed trick deck of cards. Okay, this is the deck O Morphosis. Now, I don't necessarily want to give away the gimmick of it, but I also want to give you a realistic review of what I think of the deck. Now, it comes with the extra bit, just like they do for the advertising. Typically, you want to save that, depending on what kind of setup you're doing. And it comes with a bicycle deck. Now, the interesting thing is that I have a couple of ideas about what I could do with it. But let me see if I can, just first off, let's see if I can actually perform it. And this is my kind of idea. So I actually had to get out the bigger mat that I have because I couldn't do this trick with the smaller mat. So that's something to keep in mind. You need room. Now the more room the better. So I would say that you'd almost need a full table for me to pull this off the way that I want to do it. Now let me go ahead and give it a try. So yeah, so basically you just want to show you've got all the cards. You know, it's a beautiful deck of cards. Now, if you're gonna spread it out like this, you have all blue cards. Now, you know what? With the blue back, it doesn't actually work that well. So why don't we make it red? That's what we could do. We can make it red. Well, this is still blue, but this one's red. You can actually see that one, which works out pretty good. The thing that I'm really confused about now is that all of the cards are actually the Ace of Diamonds. Yeah, they're actually the Ace of Diamonds. That's kind of strange if you think about it. Wait a second. Now they're all red. What do we have over here? Okay, that's still the 7. Yeah, it's pretty strange. All the cards are red. They are in fact red, and they all are different. So now we've effectively switched the deck. Beautiful. So obviously there's a little bit of knackiness in there. So let's get into the in-depth review of what I actually think about it. And for those of you who are watching this video, I will be exposing the deck. Okay, just for the funsies of it. And if at any point in time somebody doesn't want me to do this, I take it down. Basically, it's a gimmick deck with interlocking red and blue cards. Very nice. And let's see here. We've got to switch this back out to there. So there's just a quick little reset, which you could actually do as part of the performance. I didn't do that, though. So basically, you have all the blue cards are the Ace of Diamonds, and then you have your red cards, which are your random face cards, or your random deck, like normal deck cards. So it has an index, and it also creates this beautiful moment where you could do this. Now you could also throw into the trick, you could do a prediction, like I did there, where I had the 7 of diamonds, right? So you have the 7 of diamonds over here. All these cards are. You'd have to move this one to the bottom like that, and then as long as you've got a good spread on it, which I did not. See, this is why, so this just goes into what I think about. It's difficult to do a turnover move, and I definitely need to do more work with it. But social media trick for sure. It's something that you know that it's not on the fly. So just trying to get it to a turnover. That's all I'm trying to do is get a turnover in this. Even if I see, that's all blue. So we don't want that. So typically, yeah. So you don't want that. So you kind of got to go slow, but you don't want to go too slow. So you can get a good turnover. Okay. We'll just pretend like that's fine. You can't see any of the blue or whatever. Which is great. But they know you pulled out this card. So you kind of have to play around with that idea. But you could say, you know, if you wanted to do it the other way, which is when you have the blue deck, and here, we'll reset real quick here. Okay, so you got your 7 of diamonds is your force card, and you're basically going to show them that all the cards are in fact, well, not that way, that way. So dribble down like this, and show all the cards like this, and so now you've established that the deck is a real deck. The only fishy thing is you can't do an actual spread. You're not supposed to be climbing up there. Get down. So a beautiful little spread like this, like a dribble spread, and then a turnover, which I have found that if you can't do the fast turnover, you have to do a slow turnover. Not like that. See, it's a tricky thing, really. But you could do a slow turnover to keep everything nice and neat. This can be your force card. So we have the 7 here. Or you could just say, go ahead and pick any card you want, covering up kind of like an invisible deck idea. You want to keep the aces covered, and just say, go ahead and pick any card. Just pick one out here. Let's say they want the ace, right? So you're just going to spread that out there without showing more than one. Flip it over and say, hey, that's actually a red card. That's pretty cool that you picked that. Yeah, all the cards are blue, and you get it back over there as best you can. All the cards are blue, and then you're just going to want to get this card to the top, which you can simply execute once you bring everything back together. You can pass it over and then change it to red. That was pretty decent. It's a social media trick for sure. I don't know if I would be confident enough to perform this live. But then, of course, this is when you can show them that all of the cards, as best as you can, all of the cards are actually aces, and you picked the only one that wasn't the diamond. So you have a couple of tricks there, right? So you have the convincer that it's all the, you know, that they're all normal cards, and then you have the spread that you're doing, and then you have the prediction card or the deck switch idea, which is all beautiful stuff. So it comes down to my only concern is, again, like, it's a social media trick. And the setup is just to find, the reset rather, is just to find where you took this card out of the center. Maybe. Oh, right here. Okay, you put that back. It doesn't seem to be any roughing fluid on here because they do spread without any issues. So that doesn't seem to be the case. So maybe you could add roughing fluid if you wanted to, but either way, to me, just to say it out, you know, it seems like a social media trick. It's a fairly decent trick, and I was also exploring the idea of a slow shuffle which allowed all of the blue cards to fall out of the bottom. But I haven't got it to the point where I can get all of them. Now, you could start with 2 different piles. Now, let's attempt that, just for the fun of it here. I'm not as great at the Pharaoh Shuffle as I'd like to be, but now we're exploring some upper echelon level ideas, because this is kind of how you'd get into the stripper deck. Is it the stripper deck? I feel like it's the other one. Invisible, stripper, Svengali, that's the word I'm looking for. So you get into the Svengali idea, which is basically, it's interesting because you can play off this idea. Now, the only other thing that I would need, that if I wanted to make this work, is I would really love the idea of putting an ace of diamonds in here, but you can't keep it in the deck, so you'd have to add it later. And the reason why that is because for the spreads to work, you can't have two diamonds next to each other, so it doesn't work for the actual trick. So you'd have to add it later. Now you can give them this pile. Just say, hey, we're going to do a couple of fun things with this little pile here. You go ahead and that'll be your pile. With this pile, you can do a magician's choice, whereas you just say, okay, go ahead and pick a pile. If they pick this one, okay, I'm going to go ahead and hold on to this one. You hold on to this one. So whatever happens, you just end up with the gimmick pile, right? Now they have this here. Now, in the reality of it, I guess, just thinking about it out, if I have this pile, then the force card it's already forced. So maybe you want to give them that pile, and then you add the ace of diamonds to this pile when you take it. And they're like, okay, well, which one do you want? Or just, you know, pick a pile. If they pick this one, you say, okay, you can have that one. If they pick this one, you'll be like, okay, that one, I'm going to go ahead and shuffle this one up, so why don't you go ahead and hold on to that one. And so you want to get that ace of diamonds controlled. Wowzers. That's one possible idea, and then you would lead into an effect where you both pick the same card, so you could do that. The other alternative idea is that you can do a changeover. So you can say, you know, looking at it like this, you see any. Okay, so go ahead and take a look at these cards. You're not even making this a full deck idea. This is it's a completely. We've got a random pile of cards here, and we have presumably a random pile here. But you could show them the aces, or we also have a bunch of ace of diamonds. Okay, and then we have this. So that's what's out like that. The objective for this exercise is we want to get one of these ace of diamonds over to here, and then just presume to create an ace of diamonds, a red one. It's not as powerful as I'd like, though. But the idea is if you start with the two different piles, you can have them select a card, and you select a card. Okay, so now there's two piles here. Now this isn't going to be a matching trick. It's going to be something a little bit different. Now let me attempt my Pharaoh here. See how this goes. Like I said, I got a lot of work to do with my Pharaoh. And then you just try to get these together as best as possible, which I did end up missing a couple, but that's okay. We're just gonna edit that part out. Not really. Only missed, let's see, that's two. Oh boy, missed a couple there. Missed some more there. Okay. Well, fun times. And after an unsuccessful Pharaoh, then this one would go here. Beautiful. Okay. So now we've interlaced the cards together, and under the premise that you didn't show them that it's the ace of diamonds, so they're just picking random cards, you go ahead and take a look at the cards. Oh, look at that. Blackjack of sorts. Very nice. Okay, what if we were to take your blue one here on top and this one here? Now, let me show you a little quick snap there. Yeah, we've actually gotten rid of potentially having that one on the bottom. We've gotten rid of all of the ace of diamonds. Yeah, they're all gone. But now the blue cards are in fact the ace of diamonds, and we've made all the other ones blue. Yeah, that works out pretty good. Do a little bit of risk kill, show that the ace of diamonds are back, but obviously with a little bit of magic, you've actually... Now, see, that doesn't work that way. With a little bit of magic, all of the ace of diamonds are back. And real slow turnover. Oops. It's a finicky thing, really. I mean, it take a little bit of time to get, like, perfect at it, but, I mean, I feel like it's pretty nice. And look at that. now they are all back, but we've switched the colors of the cards, and now we're back to where we were. And the question is, where is your card? Of course, your card is here. I wonder, what if we did one of these? Okay, so they are in fact switched. There's the red one right there like that. A little bit of a risk kill. Ace of Diamonds is now here because they don't know. Well, there's a bunch of cards there. But either way, it looks pretty good. And of course, your card is back here in red. So that's the idea of it. I mean, it's a fun little idea to play around with. I feel like just with what I did there, I mean, that's a 5 to 10 minute play around idea with this deck, and you probably wouldn't perform all those at the same time because the narratives are different. So is it something you could definitely have fun with and do like a nice little presentation with and then put it away? Yes. Is there other applications? Absolutely. You can definitely do a 2-deck application. You can throw in a red ace of diamonds and save that. I also have something else that you can do with the box. The index for this one, I have another deck that the index is 10s. So that's something that you can have fun with that. But this is definitely a prediction trick for sure. Definitely a prediction trick, because if you've got red for the normal cards and blue for that, and if you are writing down at the beginning that you were going to, like I showed you before, that their card was the only card that wasn't that one, something like showing them that all the cards are in fact blue and they're all different, it's great. We'll even spread them out like this. Look at this. Go ahead and pick a card from the pack here. Let's say you want the ace, right? The ace of clubs. That is, in fact, the only red card in the deck. In fact, all of, see, it's kind of finicky there. See, all of the cards are still blue, but now all of the cards, nope, that didn't, because wait, what did I do wrong there? All of them are blue, flipped over, no, because I normally take the top card. So, it's tricky. It's a tricky trick, for sure. I guess instead of giving them the choice, all the cards are blue. We're going to flip everything over. Let's take a look here at this. So that's actually a red card, right? All the cards are still blue, but here's the fun part. Remember that ace of diamonds there? Yeah, that ace of diamonds is actually, all of the cards are the ace of diamonds. And not just that, well, see, I'm forgetting my own rules, my own trick here. But not only that, as a little deceptive flick up and then turn over, that might give away to some people, but all the cards are now red, tucking that blue in there, except for, of course, the one that you picked, which was the only card in the deck that was different. But with a little bit of magic, we can actually make all of the cards red. Yeah. All of the cards are red, and all of the cards are different. Beautiful. A nice little presentation. It changes the deck to a different color. Yeah, I mean, so that's, and then you would go to your prediction, and you would say, the first line would be, your card's not going to be the ace. Well, you just showed that all of the cards changed to the ace of diamonds, except for the face down card. You flip over the next page, or the next, flap, and it says, your card's going to be the two of hearts, which was the force card of our choice. So, it's, here's my final thoughts on this, that it's a box. If if I were to pick up this deck of cards here, I could potentially just kind of go to town. You know, I could just pretty much do anything I wanted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, I don't know. I could really kind of mess around with it, and I could do whatever I wanted, and now I can go into a trick. That's like I just did a setup. You know, I don't need to do that though. So let's say I have a setup, but the cards get mixed up. That's fine. I can spread out the cards in a fair way. You know, you just can't be as fair because it's in a box there. But I do want to show you another trick that I have recently come in contact with. This one's pretty nice. I like it. I like it a lot. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to peel off a pile like that. And that's going to be 2 separate piles, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So we have a total of 16 cards here. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to have you take a look at that card right there. Okay. Now this could go back on either pile. You'd get to choose. I mean, it's just random at this point. And then you would just start dealing down here. And you could actually mix up the card. I mean, it doesn't matter. You can do 2, you can do 1. It's all good. It's fine. Really, what the question is here is, what was your card? I don't know. But I'm just gonna kind of feel for it with a little bit of sensation, like to see if your card has some residue. You know, I'm not really feeling it. Let's yeah, that's not right. That's not right at all. That's not. Is that right? Is that right? No, 6 isn't right. Okay. I think I got it. Push down a little bit. See if we can get your card to appear. Can we get your card to appear? I don't know. We're going to see if we can get your card to appear from the pack. Ooh. Ace of Hearts appeared out of the pack. Is that your card? The world may never know. Fun times. Misdirection, distractions, all the fun stuff. If that was your card, go ahead and put a like down below. If it wasn't your card, go ahead and comment down below what your card was. Anyway, that's the fun part of that. A little bit of magic at the end of there. Now we're just kind of like going into more of a conversational piece there. But let me know what you think of the deck. I like it as a novelty idea. I don't feel like it has as much playability as the Invisible deck, because the Invisible deck is hidden. But adversely, I feel like the Invisible deck has the same premise. You can either do the companion idea, which you have a second deck, or you can do mentalism, but it's always coming down to the same idea of this is, you know, your card is upside down. With this deck, just like I've actually said this before about Phantasma, came out with a deck, but it wasn't a high quality deck, but it had like 3 or 4 different gimmicks in it. Roughing Fluid, Stripper, Singali, or, you know, it had multiple things to it. And this is kind of like that, where you have some options and you have some playability. And if you got really good at your table work for those dribble spreads, I mean, you could do it. Just take your time and have fun with it, just like with the mental photography deck, things like that. I think that because it's red and blue, you do kind of you gotta be confident and you gotta be solid with your abilities, and I think that's really the important takeaway there, is that it's not the kind of deck that you can just go perform with like this. You can't do that kind of magic with this. You can do stellar magic with this, but this is easy. You know, you can do any number of tricks with this deck, as simple as shuffling up the cards and then having a card selected, cutting that card into the center of the pack, and then simply going through the cards, and of course bringing that card right back to the top. Something as easy as that. Obviously, if I messed up that, well, who knows? Maybe we'll see that on the replay. But again, you can do that right out of the box. With that, you have to think about it, and you have to have some skill level to you. So I would definitely put that at medium to advanced, which is strange to say that for something as that. Would you use that type of deck if you had advanced Magic? I think you could have fun with it, but there's nothing... It's not inspectable unless you do the idea of the two decks coming together, because then they already know, and now the idea is that you're hiding. But the other problem that I have is that obviously as you go to spread, even you can see it with this deck here, you can clear, and I wonder what it looks like from the other direction. Like, you can clearly kind of see the doubles, you know. So it's a performance-based deck. I mean, 100% social media deck is not inspectable. So I always like the idea of giving away the premise at the beginning and then just wowing them with the sleight of hand and skill, which I think is really important there. And it's just fun. It's just plain old fun because you can do a couple of different things with it and just have a good time with it. And that's all we're going to say about that. I hope you enjoyed. I really hope that was a solid review of the pros and cons of working with that deck. But there's ideas there, and it is workable. I would just be very careful and expect the unexpected with that, because when you if you're going to do that method, and if you do have your cards slipping to expose the blue ones, you just got to keep going. You got to play around with it, you know. That's all there is to it. But anyway, that's it for me. So thank you, everybody, and remember, stay positive, stay active, and stay awesome. And we'll see you in the next one.